Well, hello everybody. It is
Hello,
the
hello.
first ever episode of the YokeTalk podcast, and I may have unmuted myself as I said, "Here we go." So you guys probably heard that, but that's okay. PastorBoz, Boz GS, whatever your name is. How you doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal. How are you doing today, man?
Doing pretty good. A little tired, but good day.
It's Tuesday. I'm always tired Tuesday.
is-
You
it
guys
is
can see
Tuesday.
the bags under my eyes.
You always have bags under your eyes, though.
I know. I know. I'm
Guys,
getting old.
he's been through a lot, guys. He's been through
Getting
a lot.
old.
It's okay. Well, welcome everybody. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff today. Most podcasts, they're not very scripted, but this being our first one is going to be a little bit scripted just so we can get through just how the podcast is going to work, things that we're going to be talking about from week to week, why we named it the Yoke Talk. Some of you right now are like, what in the world does that even mean? Is that egg related? It's not egg related, okay? It's not.
Isn't that yolk with an L?
I believe so. But it's not egg related, rest assured. So we're going to go ahead and roll a quick intro for you, and then we'll get into this. Alrighty, well, we're going to go ahead and take a moment to introduce ourselves. For those of you that are here with us live, some people might be listening to this, and they might have no idea who we are. So we're going to introduce ourselves as if nobody knew. So I am UnworthySeraph, and I do a lot of media stuff. I am the media director for God Squad Church, the world's first church for gamers. And so I do a lot of video and graphics and stuff, and I love video games. And I grew up on Nintendo, all that good stuff on the GameCube with Metroid, Zelda, Mario, all that stuff. Always been a gamer. Nowadays, I'm into a lot of shooters. Play a lot of Warframe. Recently, been into Warzone, and we're gonna have a Warzone topic here in a little bit for you guys. But play a bunch of things. Love gaming. Love life. Pastor Boz, tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Boz. I'm a pastor of God Squad Church. If you did not know already, I work alongside of UnworthySeraph, which is absolutely amazing. This is how we kind of got to know each other and became really good friends, best friends. I dare say best friends.
I dare
Would you
say
best friends?
Yokefellows, but we'll get to
Yoke.
that in a moment.
Yokefellows. What does that even mean? But so anyways, yeah, my name is PastorBoz. I have a beautiful, wonderful wife. Her name is Sparkletastic Danny in Discord or in Twitch. And we've been married for 8 years. This past June, actually, that just passed our anniversary. So 8 years. My gaming background, I love The Legend of Zelda. I will say I grew up on Nintendo. And I'm not saying Nintendo. I mean like the NES Nintendo. I grew up on, and then grew up with the Super Nintendo, N64, and really had every single Nintendo that could possibly be named up until even now recently with my favorite console of all time, the Nintendo Switch. I also love PlayStation, and recently, in the past 3 or 4 years, became a PC gamer as well. So loving that life, and not an Xbox guy.
I used to be an Xbox guy.
There's no reason for an Xbox right now. It's just none.
Oof.
But
Shots fired.
Hey,
If you're an Xbox player, we love you. We love you. It's okay.
Hey.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to, in just a moment, get into what we're going to be talking about for the podcast. But before we do that, we thought it'd be best to kind of explain the name of the podcast. So, Pastor Boss, why don't you walk us through just kind of how the name of this podcast came about, but more importantly, why in the world are we Yokefellows, and what does that mean?
So about a year and a half, 2 years ago or so, Pastor Susie was preaching a sermon. Obviously, we've been working for this church for a very, very long time. Seraph happened to be, I think he was running the PC.
I was distracted.
Yeah, he was distracted at one moment. It was at one of our nighttime services. I don't even think we're at 2 services yet, to be completely honest. I think we're still at 1 service.
Probably.
It was our Saturday night service, and he was talking about like the yoke and what the yoke means. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But he said something about Yokefellows. And I was like, Yokefellows. And then he started talking a little bit about what that actually means, like, being accountable for one another and being best friends and things of that nature. And I thought the UnworthySeraph was paying attention to the sermon, but he was something else was going on.
I was working on the computer. I don't remember what. I just wasn't paying attention.
So in Discord, I just typed in, "You are my yoke fellow." and he said he had no idea what in the world I was talking about, but he literally thought about it, and all he typed back was, "That sounds about right."
I wasn't listening to the sermon. I had no idea what Susie had just mentioned about Yokefellows. I had no idea, but I knew what yoke in the Bible meant, and I kind of knew the idea. So when he said Yokefellow, I was like, yeah, this sounds about right.
So if you guys don't know what a yoke is essentially when the Bible would use it if there were like two oxen, they'd be like working in the fields or something like that. And they would have something that they would be pulling behind them. And so they would both share the yoke, as you guys can see. Yes, if you guys can see, I pointed the completely wrong that way.
Together.
That way, if you guys look at that, that's what it was. It would literally go over the neck of the two oxen, and they would pull along whatever it was that they, whatever they were plowing the fields with or whatever they were doing for that day, they would pull along with them, but they would share the burden of how heavy the machinery was. Machinery. They didn't have like electronics back then. I don't think.
Machinery.
Very basic machinery. They'd be pulling it along, and they would share that burden. And so if you think of one ox trying to pull this, if that's going to happen, it's literally just going to go in circles over and over and over. They're going to just stay in the same area. Whereas if you have two people together and they're pulling it together, you're going to be able to continue moving along on your path and continuing to go straight. And so myself and UnworthySeraph, he has been through very much of the thick and thin in all the different things that myself and my wife have been through. He has, there were times, literally one time I'll specifically remember, I won't say exactly what was going on, but I remember there was something that me and my wife went through, and my wife texted him and she said, maybe you shouldn't, we used to live in Connecticut. He lived in South Carolina. Okay. This is a long drive. This isn't your average 3 hour, 4 or 5 hour drive.
9-10 hour, I think.
It was a long time. So anyways, literally my wife, something happened. I don't remember exactly what it was. And she texted him. It was like, maybe you shouldn't come up right now. It's probably not the best time. And literally he basically said to himself, how can I get up there even quicker? So he still came up. I don't know if he came up quicker or not. I think it was like a day sooner or something like that. And I mean, he has always been there for us. And, I've tried to be there for him as well. He can
definitely
speak to that if I have.
I don't have a specific example right now, but you definitely have.
But so we continue doing life together and continuing to move forward together, and we share each other's burdens.
Yep.
Yokefellows,
YokeTalk. We're here. We're Yokefellows, and we're here talking. So it's the YokeTalk podcast. That is the story behind the name of the podcast, the inspiration for it all. Very, very good, PastorBoz. Thank you for explaining that. Well done.
Yeah, no problem.
So before we continue, I just want to mention that the chat interaction is going to be fairly minimal during the podcasts. If you're listening to this recording, we stream this live on twitch.tv/GodSquadChurch, but we're not going to be interacting with the chat a whole lot, just because we don't want the people who are listening to it after the fact to feel like they're missing a big part of the experience. So if you guys make a really good point in the chat, or maybe you have a really good question that we can answer, we may address that, pick it out, and shout you out. But in general, chat interaction is going to be kept on the down low for those reasons that I just discussed. We still love you guys, though. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you all being here. Inky, I see you, man. I see you. So, what are we actually going to be talking about on this podcast? Well, I'm glad you asked me. So, we wanted to keep it broad in scope. So, what does that mean? I didn't want to be shackled to just gaming. Obviously, we work for a gamer church. But I didn't want to have it call it a gaming podcast and then be like, oh, well, we have to talk about gaming because we're a gaming podcast. So I didn't want it to be like that. So we broadened the scope a little bit, kind of themed the podcast more around the idea of us being Yokefellows, to give us a little bit more leeway to just kind of talk about whatever we want, keep it interesting. Now, it will be mostly gaming focused. We work for a gamer church. What do you expect? But every now and then, we may share something about our lives, things like that, or who knows what. But the ultimate goal is to just have fun, share what we've been doing with each other, with you guys, and just have a fun, lighthearted example of what doing life together looks like.
Yeah, so if you guys are, looking to suggest topics and things like that, we are more than willing to take your topics. So if you guys want us, a new game came out, or maybe you guys have a question about something or whatever it might be, don't hesitate to direct message myself or UnworthySeraph on Discord. You can whisper us as well on Twitch, and we will take those into consideration. And also, don't forget that if like the okay, you realize that the podcast is about to start. The Yoke Talk is about to start, and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to send in my question. I really wanted to ask this. I really want to talk about this topic. I can't promise you that we're going to talk about it. However, that does not mean that last minute topics that you guys send us that we won't talk about them. So if it's last minute, who knows? Who knows?
Might make it on if it's a really good topic.
We may talk about it. Maybe it's something that we didn't think about. We always need topics, and we'd love to be able to hold your guys' interest as you guys are wanting. You guys are here. We would like to talk, about what you guys enjoy and things of that nature. So some of the things that we are going to be talking about, though, we're going to be talking about obviously gaming news and game related material, new releases, new updates on different games. So for example, there was a brand new Smash update. We may be talking about that in a little bit, but
that's okay.
It was so good. But anyways, we're going to be talking about different updates and new games and things like that, new releases and what's coming out. We're going to be sharing stories from games that we've been playing. This doesn't necessarily mean new games, but, so I've been recently playing on my stream, for example, Sakura. And so I may talk about how triggering that game is and why it's triggering. It may not be the reason that you think of, but so new games to us, interesting games as well. There might be even old games in the past that we talk about. And then finally, we're going to be doing life stories, life updates, because this isn't just about gaming, but it's about doing life together. Gaming together is great, but doing life together as well. So we may be sharing with you major life updates that are happening in both of our lives. So Seraph, how does that sound to you, man?
Sounds wonderful. Sounds wonderful. It's like everything that I wanted it to be, because I wrote it down. So we also wanted to answer a question that we've gotten from you guys a few times, and that is the question: are we going to be talking about Bible topics on this podcast? The answer is yes and no. So to clarify, we are, of course, both Christians. We work for a gamer church. This podcast is being broadcast on our church channel. However, we want this podcast to be something that anyone could enjoy. And if we oversaturate it with biblical topics, non-Christians are going to feel a little out of place. So with that being said, we likely won't have any specific Bible topics on our agenda to talk about. But that doesn't mean that we can't talk about gaming in our lives in relation to our faith. We just want those conversations to be natural, not overly preachy or anything like that. Just like if you were sharing your faith with a friend, you don't want it to be the first thing you're talking about. You want it to just come up naturally in conversation. So if you're listening to this now, you're not a Christian, hey, we're happy to have you here. Glad you're listening. And we hope you get a little something good out of our faith talks when they do happen, even if you don't believe what we believe.
We might give you some good life advice, though. I mean,
this man gives really good life advice. Let me tell you.
I try. Thank you. Thank you.
He does.
Thank you.
He's very good at it.
I do my best.
So without further ado, that's everything we needed to get out of the way to tell you about how this podcast is going to work and what even is it. So now we can jump in to our first topic of the day. PastorBoz, what is it?
It's about Warzone and how it's not 100, it's not 150, but the fact that they just recently came out. I think that already came out.
I believe it came out yesterday, yeah.
I believe it was an update yesterday. 200 people on the same map. They aren't jumping out of a bus. They're jumping out of a plane because it makes actual sense.
Shots fired.
200 people jumping out of a plane and battling it out for their lives. What do you think about 200 people on the same map, Seraph?
So I'm concerned, to be honest, because the more and more that I've played Warzone, it's been a little better recently. Of course, I haven't played it in like a week, but the servers kind of struggle usually. They kind of struggle. So I don't know how I feel about adding another 200, or not another 200, but another 50 people to the server, because they were already struggling.
And 50 doesn't sound like a lot, but if you think about it, that's a whole that's a third of what it used to be. And now this is a quarter of the cert. Like, that's a lot. It's actually a ton of people.
Now, I do think it would be good for the game because, well, it's weird because this is something that I like about Warzone, but it also would be nice to have it feel a little more lively. I feel like Warzone compared to some of the other battle royales is like usually there's more downtime, I feel like, and it's not as common that you just get shot out of nowhere and you're always fighting. So I feel like this might make the game a little more interesting, which could be fun. But at the same time, I'm conflicted because I kind of liked that about Warzone. That's just the feel that I had always gotten from it. I thought it was a little less likely that you were always going to be fighting people, and I liked that.
Right. Now, is this going to be like, I haven't read a lot about this. So is this just going to be single player? Is going to be the, or not single player, but you know what I mean? Like singles or solos going in with 2 people, going in with squads. Like, what is it going to look like?
So I believe it's just quads. I'm looking at the article right now, and it only mentions quads. So I'm pretty sure it's just quads, which is probably for the best because if you had 200-person solos, or duos or even trios, like that's just more teams and people that can fight each other. So if it's just quads, then ultimately there's going to be less fights because more people are on the same team. So that's probably for the best. But I'm still worried about the possible server issues because and just to explain a little bit more about that, from what I've experienced with the Warzone servers, a lot of the time is they'll just like ping is kind of high. There can be rubber banding. They're just not very consistent. Matchmaking is usually good for me. I've heard some people struggle with matchmaking a little bit, but the ping is not great a lot of the times. Rubber banding here and there. So I'm concerned adding another 50 people in.
That makes sense. I haven't personally had a ton of problems with server issues. Some, absolutely. There's been times that our games have crashed. Let's be completely honest.
My Warzone's actually broken right now.
His Warzone is completely broken. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about Warzone. There's a meme going around, right? It's not really a meme, but it's more of a made up meme that people really haven't made a thing yet. But every time you are starting the game, there's a download. Let's be completely honest. There's an update probably every other day on this game. I don't play the game. Yeah, it's huge. And so you're like, I'd love to play Warzone tonight. You go on your PC, you're like, all right, and you click it and it says update waiting. Okay, an update. 3.5 hours later, you're going to be able to play the game. And if it's too late at night, well, too bad. You can play it tomorrow, but you probably won't have time tomorrow. But here's the problem is this happens every other day. Now for Seraph, it isn't just an every other day update. It actually won't stop.
This is
updating.
just recently. I just recently had this problem like a couple weeks ago. So like if you play the game, when it starts up, it checks for updates. Lots of games will do that. This one's weird because it does it like after you've started the game, which is kind of weird. Usually they do that like in the launcher or whatever. But you start it up and it says checking for updates for a second, and then it goes on and it lets you play the game. Well, mine just gets hung up on checking for updates and does nothing. And it makes me very sad. So I think this problem may have happened because I got a new hard drive because Warzone is huge, stinking 200 gigs. So I needed a new hard drive. So I upgraded to a bigger hard drive. And then I moved all my games over to the new hard drive so I didn't have to re-download them all. This is a thing that you can do. If you didn't know that, you can. If you re-downloaded all your games when you got a new hard drive, I'm sorry, there is a better way. And usually it works fine. All my Steam games are fine. I haven't tried any of the other Battle.net games. Maybe I should do that and then see if it's a Battle.net issue. I didn't.
Like Overwatch.
I didn't. I should do that. I'll get back to you guys next week on if that worked or not.
Here's my question. Did you have Overwatch on your old hard drive or no?
That is also a good question. It might have been uninstalled.
So what I would probably do is install it on your old hard drive and then try to move it to the new one. Because if you don't do that,
my old one isn't games anymore.
Right, but just put it on there
I could, if there's space. Yeah. I need more hard drives. I bought a new one, but I still need more. Anyway,
I need a hard drive.
Yeah, so to try to fix the problem, I just uninstalled it and reinstalled it, which took a while because 200 gigs. And it's still broken. Still gets stuck on checking for updates. So it's very sad.
Inky Prana, he said, is Minesweeper fine? How is Minesweeper?
I don't play Minesweeper. I don't play Minesweeper. Not my kind of game. If you like Minesweeper,
Anyways,
good for you. But
it was fun in 5th grade.
All right. But yeah, so my Warzone's broken, and it makes me really sad because I really like that game. It's like the first battle royale that I've enjoyed, and it's the first Call of Duty that I've enjoyed in over 10 years, feels like.
Yeah.
So I've been really, really enjoying the game, and it makes me very sad that I can't play it right now.
Yeah, it is a good Call of Duty. I think Warzone was they were on point with this.
Yeah.
I don't even like battle royales, but this is actually fun. I enjoy playing it from time to time. So
Yeah,
for sure.
It's just always felt really good. The time to kill feels great. Gunplay is great. There's not like a bunch of like random crazy items or anything, and it just works. Other than the minor server issues, which can usually get past. So
now 200 people running for everything. Are they going to add chests? They would have to. I feel like.
What do you mean?
They have to add more
more loot
places to get. Yeah, I would think so, right?
Maybe.
50 extra people. That's a lot of people. Like, I don't know. It will be interesting. It will be interesting to see. So we'll have to test that out once your game isn't broken anymore and checking for updates.
We'll see if it's fixed next week. I'll let you guys know.
It's the loading screen all over.
Oh no! I'm done. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and move on to our next topic. For all of you Animal Crossing fans listening, Nintendo just announced the biggest update in the game so far, the summer update that adds what, PastorBoz?
It adds the best thing that we've all been asked. Nobody actually asked for this, but swimming. It added swimming.
Was it in previous games though? I don't know.
Maybe.
Actually, don't know.
I will admit this. I was never the biggest Animal Crossing fan. I had Animal Crossing New Leaf. Everybody was like, it's such a great game. I played it for like 4 hours and I said, I really don't care about this town that I'm supposed to be the mayor of. And I sold it. So maybe there was swimming in the past. But there's now going to be swimming in the new summer update of Animal Crossing. So.
Yes, it looks very cool. You can catch new fish. There's some other stuff. Yeah, this is like the first major content update for the game, and it's free.
I personally just want to swim in my own pool. I have a pool in my backyard in my Animal Crossing game, and I can't get in it, and it makes me sad every single time that I can't actually just jump in my pool. There's a wrestling ring that I can jump into and lie down in, but I can't get in my own swimming pool. That triggers me. Not going to lie.
I saw some people saying online that getting into your pool or your tub or whatever is something that you've been able to do in past games, and some people are hoping that they're going to re-add that. Because, I mean, personally, I have a hot tub in my bathroom, and I can't even use it. It just sits there. So it's
you have a hot tub in your bathroom?
I do, yeah. I have a hot tub.
Oh, yeah. I won't even tell you what my bathroom has in it.
Fuck.
There are, I believe, there are 3 toilets, I believe.
I'm not going to tell you. Proceeds to tell me.
There are 2 actual sit-down toilets. One of them is in the middle of the room because I had nowhere on the walls to fit it. If I did put it on a wall, it was going to have to be under the shower head. And I mean, let's be honest here. That's not the best place to put your toilet. Although I won't even get into that. But anyways, and so you got that. I have a urinal as well. And then I have like my laundry. Sometimes laundries are around in, bathrooms and stuff like that. I've seen it before. So that's my bathroom.
But yeah, Animal Crossing in general has been super, super enjoyable for me. I haven't played one since the GameCube, so it's been a long time since I've played one. But this one looked super cool when it was coming out, and I actually didn't get it day one. But I let the peer pressure consume me. I let all the fun that everyone looked like they were having tempt me to get the game, and I have not regretted it. Good decision.
For sure. You go onto Twitter and you realize you don't have the game, and everybody's putting up these wonderful posts and videos and playing the flute and all these other things, and you're sitting there and you're like, wow, I really wish I had a fake life too. And proceed to put money down.
It's the best time to have a fake life, guys. It's the best time.
It literally, I think it was the second day I had the game. Seraph was like, you should come over to my island. there's shooting stars. I don't even know what this even means, but I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I go over to his island. He's like, all right, now you can't have anything in your hands, and look up at the sky and press A when you see a shooting star. And literally for the next 30 minutes, we just sat there pressing A at shooting stars and talking about absolutely nothing. Come to find out, the next day there were a whole bunch of stars that were on my beach, and I was very happy about it. It's so great. It's so great.
Yes, and then we can't forget, of course, the turnip exchange, the turnip market. Always exciting as you want it to be.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like the stock market in real life.
It's exactly what it is.
It's a little bit anxious when you're about to sell and you're not really too sure if 160 is the best price, because your friend the next day may have 400, and it's happened to me before, and it's very upsetting. I'm not gonna lie. So I stopped buying turnips for anxiety reasons.
It's true. It's true. But to clarify for those of you that might not know what the turnips are about, so basically, you can buy turnips on Sunday morning only before noon, and then you buy the turnips from between like 90 to like 110 bells. Bells is the currency in the game. 90 to 110 bells a piece, and you can buy as many as you want. So you buy turnips Sunday morning, and then throughout the week, you will have two different turnip prices every day at your shop. So the price is just completely random every day, and it could be 50, it could be 20, lower even, really bad, so less than you bought them for, or it can be upwards of like 600-700. So it's just complete RNG of whether or not you're going to make your money back.
What is the worst price you have seen on your island, Seraph?
I believe it's something like 26.
Oh wow,
which is pretty bad.
So I don't check every day, but I haven't had anything above, I think, 130. I've never seen above 130. I normally get 40, like 52. I'm like, listen, I bought these turnips for 108 bells. You think I'm going to lose that many? Absolutely not. That happens.
My island has had good prices a couple times. I just recently had, I believe it was 597. I want to say something like that, close to 600.
Yeah.
And then I had actually sold my turnips already the previous day for a lower price. But I opened up my island for people to come sell their turnips at it, and I got 3 million bells worth of tips. So
it's ridiculous.
We take those. We take those.
Listen, our job as a community is to take Tom Nook out of business.
Oh, hold up. I feel like Tom Nook is not such a bad guy, and I feel like I have a good explanation. Now I don't know how he's been in the previous games. I don't know if he's been worse in the past, and that's why everybody just doesn't like him. But for what I can see from this game, he just seems like he's a really, really enthusiastic businessman. And I feel like he really is trying to like do good things and like make our lives good. He has some weird tactics, but I feel like he's just a really excited businessman, and sometimes he doesn't have the best business decisions.
I disagree.
Of course you do.
Well, listen, okay, business decisions, all that aside, you can make great business decisions and stuff like that, but this guy wants to go to an island and make this great island and does actually nothing. He sits and it's thinking Isabel. Every day that I go to my island, there's no news today, but I finished my crossword puzzle. Well, that's great for you.
We're not talking about Isabel here, okay? We're talking about Tom Nook, all right?
All right, they're both lazy. Both lazy. That's all I got to say about that. You know what? You want to build a bridge? You build the bridge. You want this person to come live here? You plant the house. Just plant the house? I can't even plant. Put the house.
I mean, he doesn't charge you interest. Like, I feel like
he charges you 10,000 bells for you to take the thing he gave you and put.
I feel like if he was really such a bad guy and he was really after our money, he would charge interest, and he doesn't even have deadlines. You don't have a deadline to pay off your debt, and there's no interest.
I don't like him.
I mean, I feel like he gets a lot of crap. and some of it's maybe warranted, but I feel like he gets more crap than he deserves.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I might disagree, but I'll agree to disagree with that one.
All right.
All right.
All right, we'll move right along here. So PastorBoz, I know you've been playing the new Smash update and the new character. I've not had a chance to play it yet. Not really had a chance to watch. I did scan through the patch notes. That's about it. So PastorBoz, tell us a little bit about that.
The new patch notes, let me tell you guys, amazing. So we'll get into new character in a second, but the patch notes, here's okay, there's some awkward stuff. I don't know why they buffed a bunch of people's final smashes. Let's be honest here. Did those need to be buffed? Probably not, but they were, and
I need it for my casuals.
Don't talk to me. Anyways. So we have a bunch of patch notes though. It looks like Captain Falcon is an absolute monster at this point. He got a lot of buffs, he has less vulnerability on a lot of things like his down tilt. I know his up smash I think his up smash hits, I think it's like the second attack after that, like is much stronger or something of that nature. I can't remember exactly what it is, but he is actually a beast now. And that puts Captain Falcon, I don't know if he's going to be top tier, but
I'd be very surprised if he was top tier.
Just
because he doesn't have, I feel like he doesn't have the tools to be top tier, but I'm no Smash expert. What do I know? But yeah, I'm really, really excited to see the Falcon buffs. Be excited to see what Fatality is able to do with him there. Fatality is a professional Smash player who mains Captain Falcon, and he's sick nasty at the game. I love watching him. But unfortunately, Captain Falcon is not usually like the greatest character. Usually he's like just good enough to be viable. So we'll definitely be interested to see how he performs with the new Falcon. So, PastorBoz, what were some of the other highlights of the update as far as balance changes? You don't have to get into the nitty gritty, but just a few other things, and then we'll talk about Min.
Yeah, right. Kirby got small buffs. Let's be honest here.
Kirby did get some buffs.
A-Swing is trying to make Kirby a thing. It's never going to be a thing, but he is trying hard, and so A-Swing, you keep at it, my friend. And then other people, Falco. I was watching a stream last night of somebody. He's not a professional player, but he's a professional commentator for Super Smash Brothers.
Shout out to D1.
He's hilarious on his commentating.
I met him at TwitchCon. He's cool.
He's a pretty cool guy. I never met him, but he seems like a really neat guy. So anyways, he was talking about Falco, and he is very excited about Falco. Falco got a lot of buffs, and he actually said he could be top tier. I don't know if this is true or if he was just super hyped last night, but people in the background were yelling, "Our prayer has been answered," and they were using him. They were going absolutely nuts. It just everything is faster, less vulnerability. His side B is super fast underground, so they're very excited about that. So Falco, that's the main updates that I saw. I know that King K. Rool got a few updates. With him, he got quite a few. There weren't many nerfs. Bayonetta got a couple of buffs actually. I know they also fixed Little Mac. I don't remember exactly what had to be fixed, but they fixed him. But
he was a bad character. That's what needed.
He's just listen. He's still a bad
character. No offense. If you love playing Little Mac, he is fun to play. Just he's not great. Let's be honest. He's not great.
He's not. You could probably beat me with him, but he's still not great. But anyways, so the biggest thing, though, as many people know, is the new character. We've been teased that it was going to be an ARMS character for a very long time.
I'm still salty that it wasn't like multiple ARMS characters, kind of like Bowser Jr., where it's like a bunch of characters and they just all have the same moveset. I don't know why they didn't do that. Apparently, they asked the creator of ARMS who they wanted in Smash, and he was just like, Min. And he just didn't have a reason. It was just he wanted Min. So they put Min in, and I'm salty that it was not a Bowser Jr. style character.
Right. A lot of people were hoping it was going to be Bowser Jr. styled, where you get different, essentially what he means is you get the main character, which, Bowser Jr., but then every, what is it? The skin. Yeah. The different skins is a different Bowser Jr. from the previous games. And
the Koopalings.
Like Roy and all them. Iggy, but so people were hoping maybe it will be like
I
Spring
was
Man.
hoping.
But
I
then
don't
the
know
next
if
one
anyone
would be like Ribbon Girl. Another one would be Min Min, and they would keep on going. But they didn't do that. I thought they were gonna go with either Kid Cobra, or I thought they're gonna do what's the brass guy. He was the first
Max
DLC character.
Browse.
Yeah, I thought those might be the two characters, but they did not pick it. They picked Min Min, and
I thought they were gonna do if they had to pick one. I thought they were gonna do what's his name, Ninjara.
yeah, that's my favorite one. I actually have never played any other character other than Ninjara in ARMS. Never played another character.
I always played Ribbon Girl. She was good.
Such a good game though. Such a good
was.
game. But regardless of that, Min Min is in Super Smash Brothers, and honestly, I played her last night when it first came out. I was clicking on my update thing over and over for a good, like, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so. And about 10 minutes later, it said it was updating, and I got to play her. And let me tell you, I had a blast. She was completely
play
different
online?
than I did. She's completely different than any other character. And I have kept my rank at about 2.5 million GSP, so I'm very happy about
I feel
that.
like that's pretty low nowadays.
I mean,
don't
I started off at 4 million
But
something.
good for you, man.
Then I lost one. It went down to 1 million, and then it just kind of fluctuated up and down. And I won my last like 4 matches with her. But regardless, she is super fun. The B button.
The B
it's
button.
Not, the B button. It's not even the special anymore. It's literally your other arm.
I think that's
The
so
A
cool.
button is your other arm. Like it's so neat. Your down special switches I guess I'll call it the secondary arm. I'm not too sure what the technical term is, but you have 3 different arms that you can use. Yeah, the left. Yeah, is it the left?
I think it's
I don't
the
even know. I don't even know. But it's so cool. She has so many different utilities. There's a smash attack in the air,
which is not a thing usually.
This has been
ever, actually, not a thing ever.
There's a forward smash when you're in the air, and it's really it works though. It works for her, so she's a lot of fun. I do have to say I had a good time. She's super strong. She is as heavy as Link,
Okay.
and she's one of the heavier female characters in the game. I'm not really too sure why. I feel like if her arms are really springy, I guess if there's metal springs, maybe.
Really durable metal springs.
Really durable. But anyway, so she's actually got some weight to her. So that's the thing. She's a lot of fun though. Super fun.
Do you feel like she's balanced or not? I know I was a little worried seeing her debuted on the Nintendo stream where they showed her off, and she can punch like the whole stage, from one side of the stage to the other, just about. She can punch the whole way, and I was like, well, I don't know if that's okay.
With one of her arms, she can, if it's a smash attack and you hold down the smash attack at the end. So it's her dragon arm. The mouth will open at the end and fire shoots out. Literally, I will say this. The range is it's a little bit nuts. And there are people that are just not expecting it from other side of the stage. But I think she's balanced in the way that if somebody gets close up on her, it is a little bit rough. It is a little bit rough. But she is able to zone characters very well. I don't know if I would say she's completely I wouldn't say she's broken by any means. I don't know if I can say she's balanced or not though. I don't know. I would have to play with her a little bit more.
Okay. I know I was concerned about that. How did the hitboxes feel? It seemed like from the presentation that the hitboxes were pretty small, and I was hoping I was hoping that that was going to kind of balance her out, not having the greatest hitboxes.
Yeah, hitboxes are definitely small. Being able to do like forward airs and stuff like that, because your arms are so stinking long, it's really hard to actually hit somebody in midair. If you do, it hits like a truck. But so the hitboxes are a little bit smaller. I know, like if you run up on somebody, you're super close to them, and you do an up air, it will not hit them. Like most people, like Fox or Wolf, it will wreck them. Her, it does not. But so those things are that's the thing. I don't even know if her up tilt hits right next to him, to be completely honest. So small hitboxes for sure, but she is a lot of fun, I do have to say.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Yep.
I love Smash. I wish I had a chance to play it, but that's okay.
That's such a great game.
Alrighty, everybody. Well, we've got one more topic here that we wanted to just touch on for just a moment. It's not really a gaming topic. It's a Twitch topic. And, I mean, we're on Twitch. We're a church on Twitch. I feel like talking about a Twitch topic is it's very relevant to the podcast and to who we are. So I'm sure you guys have heard about it. We just wanted to touch on it briefly in hopefully more of a positive light. And it is the I don't even know what to call it. The situation, I suppose, where DrDisrespect has supposedly been banned from Twitch with no reason. So nobody really knows why. He tweeted, said that Twitch hasn't told him yet. We don't know if that's true. Some people are like, I know what happened. He should be banned. Other people are like, we don't know what's happening. Why is he banned? So, PastorBoz, how do you think we should respond in a situation like this?
Honestly, I think we should respond with not going with every little thing that you hear. To be completely honest, there's a lot of rumors that are going around right now, a lot of things that are negative rumors about, what he possibly, nobody really even knows what it was. Now, could it have been something that he did that wasn't right? Yeah, sure, that could have definitely happened. But I truly think that we until the facts come out, like we should just kind of, now, I'm not saying keep your mouth shut about it, but don't spread these rumors.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are saying, that, that he Twitch said he broke something on TOS, and they said they have to have evidence before they permaban somebody, which that's what the words they're using is permanently and throwing that around. And that's not a light term, obviously. So something happened. We just don't know what it was. I do know, I read a little bit on it that DrDisrespect was on his stream when he found out. And apparently the end of his stream, he sounded very awkward. He got an email or a text or something of that nature and found out about it and went offline. And we have not really heard anything since, other than him breaking his silence 2 days ago on Twitter with a very short thing saying essentially, we're going to get
I thought it was a pretty respectable tweet. I'll go ahead and read it. It's in the article right here that I've got pulled up. He just said, Champions Club. That's what he calls his people. Champions Club. Twitch has not notified me on the specific reason behind their decision. Firm handshakes to all for the support during this difficult time. Very, very quick, very short. Said what he needed to say. So I think that was a good statement. Whether it's true or not, I hope it is.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing that I would say is, even let's just say something bad did happen. Okay, he did something wrong. Okay, yeah, that can taint somebody's image, absolutely. But I feel like that just as humans in general, we all make mistakes. Some of them are big, some of them are small. I guarantee you there are many people on Twitch that have done things off of Twitch that would get them banned on Twitch, but because it's not on Twitch, they're held in high respect, they're held in high regard. Maybe nobody saw what they did or whatever it may have been. And so we all kind of have to try to do our best to just realize that people make mistakes sometimes. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't be banned or that he should. This is Twitch's decision. I respect whatever decision they make, obviously, because they know exactly what's going on and they need to protect their company and, everything that they do. But I do think that just in general, we need to try and not spread all of these rumors that are happening right now, and truly just, they'll get this is his life. His life was built around Twitch. This is his career, and I feel like it's a really hard thing when you lose your job over something. Even if you did something wrong, it's still very hard. I'm sure many of you maybe have lost your job for one reason or another, whether it was right or a wrong reason. But this was his career. So I do feel bad for the guy. Like I said, I don't know exactly what happened, but to an extent, I feel like we just need to, kind of keep ourselves on the down low about it. And
don't go on Twitter rants.
don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. So
yeah, I think it's worth mentioning here that DrDisrespect, he does have a history, not just of making mistakes, but of really working through those mistakes and really showing that he can make changes. I don't want to mention exactly what it was here, just for the sake of him. It's in the past, but you guys probably know he had a mistake he made, and he took months off of stream just to make that right. So he's definitely someone who can, come back from his mistakes and really, really wants to make it right when he makes a mistake. So I think it's definitely worth mentioning here. So hope whatever he did, I hope he can make whatever changes need to be made, or Twitch can shed a little light, or he can shed a little light, whatever it may be. But I think for the most part, just let's put down the pitchforks. Let's put down the rumors. Just let him and Twitch talk it out, and then whenever we know more, we can support him with it, and not just throw him under the bus.
And I'll be completely honest. Do we really need to know? Like, Seraph, do you need to know?
No, I don't need to know.
Is that going to affect your life?
This is none of my business to know what happened with DrDisrespect. Now,
this is between DrDisrespect and Twitch,
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I've never really been a DrDisrespect viewer. I think he's definitely really interesting. He's very good at what he does. But I've just never really been a viewer of his. But no, I mean, even if I was, no, I don't need to know what happened with him. That's his business, and Twitch's business, because he's on their platform. But I don't need to know that.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, it's like, I do feel bad for his viewers, though. Let's be completely honest. If you watch this guy on a daily, it's like your television show. Like, gamers use Twitch as their TV, right? They go on, they know when their guy's going to be on, they know it's going to be a 4-hour episode.
This is like your favorite show just got canceled.
Yeah,
instantly. Leverage
was my favorite show, and it got canceled. I was very upset about it, right? Yes,
we haven't gotten there yet, but we've been watching it. But
it should not have gone. But regardless of all of that, yes. So I feel bad for the viewers. This is something that they did. They that's what they watched on a daily basis, and now they have to find somebody else that they really enjoy at the same time of day, and it's just really difficult to be able to find that. So I do feel bad for him. But yeah, like I said, it's not going to change my life if I knew or not know. So. Like Seraph said, he put it the best. Put down the pitchforks. Let's not continue the rumors or anything like that. I think that we'll probably find out in due time. But if we don't, that's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
We don't have to know. We don't have to know. But that was the last topic that we had planned for today. We'll have to kind of feel this out, make sure we have enough stuff to talk about. So we were a little short on topics today. I did hear a couple people in the chat wanting to know about your Sakura adventures, PastorBoz. So if you wanted to touch on that.
All right. So I haven't streamed a lot this week. I'll be completely honest with you. I was streamed a lot last week. My wife, she was back to work, and I just started streaming like hard. I was hard in the paint streaming every day. And I was streaming this wonderful...
You're either hard in the paint or not at all.
Listen,
it's one or the other.
I will say this. And Seraph makes fun of me for it. I am one of those people where I will start a game on stream, and I might not finish it. I might not finish that game, and there are reasons behind why I don't do that.
Usually, it's pretty good reasons, but you don't make it better most of the time.
most of them are good reasons. Most of them you guys don't even know what the reasons are. So hey, but anyways, so Sakura, I don't know yet. Sakura,
I will finish SpongeBob. I will.
Just not. Anyways, Sakura is it's a difficult game, and I love difficult games. You guys watched me play Cuphead for 3 days straight, and I beat it on the third day. It was a wonderful game. I enjoyed it. There was direction. Sakura, I love the difficulty. I think it's great. I think the bosses are fun. I took 3.5 hours against Grandma Butterfly, or whatever her name was. The butterfly lady. The butterfly lady, I think was her name. And she's the second boss in the game, and she kicked my butt for 3.5 hours. But I beat her right before we had a prayer meeting. I beat her. But after that, there's just no direction. I'm looking at walkthroughs, and they all contradict each other. They're confusing. Nobody has even made a map for this game yet, which is kind of triggering because the game's been out for over a year now. There should be a map somewhere. There's just
really no map.
No, it's a very convoluted game. Mordecus was even trying to help me in my Twitch stream, and he just was like, "Yeah, I don't even know where you are." Like it just doesn't even make sense. And he's like, "Have you done this yet? Have you done this? Oh, it says you could do this. Well, you can't do that until you do." It's just so. My thing about games, I love hard games. I think they're a lot of fun, but it gets to the point when there's no direction. The game doesn't actually tell you where to go. There's no person that you can talk to, and it just kind of makes you guess at what you need to do next with a limited amount of resources. And I don't like that. And maybe there is something in there and somebody says something that's a riddle. I don't know. But I don't know where to go. So I don't even know if I'm going to finish Sakura yet. The next game I'm going to play on stream, honestly,
Looks like you don't know.
I don't. But I can tell you one game that will have a direction, at least. I'm hoping. July 17th, guys. Paper Mario Origami King. It's coming.
You excited for that?
I am. They're going back to the old style of Paper Mario games. I think that was much needed, so I'm excited about that because I really love Paper Mario 64 and Thousand Year Door, and they kind of got away from that. I think it needed to for the time, but they're going back to it. I think this is the time to go back to the original formula, so I'm excited about it for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I only played Thousand Year Door. I'm not usually a fan of like turn-based games. PastorBoz definitely is, but excuse me. I'm not really much of a turn-based guy myself, but I will say that I did really, really enjoy the way that Thousand Year Door made turn-based interesting, because it wasn't just press your attack that you wanted to do and leave it. You chose your attack, and then you had to like execute the attack with timing. So I thought that was very interesting. And the game looked really good. It just wasn't quite my cup of tea.
I'm excited. I'm excited. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping for the best for this one. I really am. So, and for my stream, we'll see about Sakura. I really don't know. And then Jump King is crashing my OBS. So that's
that's weird. I don't know what's wrong with your computer.
My PC is actually crazy, guys.
This man has a new issue with his computer like every year, and then I fix it, and then there's just another issue.
I don't even do anything with it. I actually don't do anything with it. So my computer is alive.
I don't know what you do. I don't know what anybody does with their computers, because it's just like, I don't know. But I believe we've run out of things to talk about here. That's okay. Like I said, we've got to get a feel for how many topics we need to have prepared to talk about, just to make sure we can get through it. We're very new to podcasting and trying to fill out this hour, so hope you guys will bear with us in that. But I feel like we could probably answer a few chat questions. Like I said, we're not going to be heavily chat interactive, but I feel like for the first one, I would love to just hear what you guys thought about the YokeTalk podcast. PastorBoz, did you have fun today? What did you think?
I had a great time. Honestly, I love talking about video games. I love talking about life. Oh, and I love you, Seraph.
I love you too, man.
I love you, chat.
I love you too, chat.
You guys are amazing. So I had a good time. I had a good time, though. I really did. I've been excited for this this has been in the making for months.
I'll put this out. And we only announced it like 2 weeks ago.
it was an idea for what, 3? No, we've actually talked about this years ago. Like, we actually just talked about it. And then when I moved to Virginia and he moved to Virginia, we're like, this should be a thing. And we just never did anything about it until today. So yeah, I enjoyed it though.
It was something that we were talking about, like, yeah, we should do this. It's like, okay, when? And we kept pushing it back. And then the funny thing was, it turned into something that just me and him were gonna do just on our own. And then it was like, oh, now it's a church thing. So that's cool.
We're excited.
Yeah, we're happy to bring some new content to the God Squad Church channel and share that with you guys. I think it's gonna be really good for the community. Yeah.
It is going to be weekly. It's going to be every single Tuesday at 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. If we are not going to be doing it for some reason, I'm sure we'll tweet it out. Probably tweet on God Squad Church. So definitely keep up with follow God Squad Church on Twitter, and we'll be tweeting out if we need to cancel it for one reason or another.
Yeah, which may happen, but hopefully not. But it might. if that does happen, we might try to record at a different part of the week. I don't know. We'll have to see.
So Allie asked if people cannot access it, where can if they can't make it live, where can they access it?
That's a great question. So it is 100% definitely going to be on our YouTube tomorrow. I am also going to try to get it on all the major podcast sites and streams and stuff. I'm very new to setting that stuff up, so hopefully I do it right. I wanna have it available on all of the platforms wherever you listen to podcasts or anything. I hope to have it available there for you. But like I said, I'm very new to the whole podcast thing, so hopefully I can get that figured out. Yeah, you don't even watch any podcasts, do you?
No. The only one I've seen is like when we do like learning leadership for God Squad Church, and I watch Craig Rochelle, and he just goes through some stuff. And
shout out to the Craig Rochelle Leadership Podcast.
Hey.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. You should watch it.
It really is good. It's great. So,
but yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm not a huge podcast guy either. The only podcast that I watch is a tech podcast called The WAN Show, done by the Linus Tech Tips guys, and I love it. I love it. Every idea and the feel that I had and that I wanted for this podcast has been inspired by the WAN Show, because I just love it. I love tech. I love talking about tech. We might even have some tech topics on here just because I love them.
I won't know anything about it. I'll be completely honest. When it comes to, he's like, he literally, I'll buy a part for my computer. I'm like, Seraph, I need to know what to do. And I've like essentially FaceTime him.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what I'm looking at. He's like, okay, you need to get that screw out of your computer. Okay, take the screw out. Now what? Now take the side off the computer. Okay, I got you. Like, I'm bad.
And then you don't want to see his art skills either.
Dude, come on. Do you have to bring that up?
They're rough.
Did you have to?
I did. I went there.
One day. One day, chat. I'll show you my my phenomenal drawing skills.
Oh man. All right. Well, with that, everybody, I think that is good to wrap it up here. It's been a great time. It's been absolutely wonderful. PastorBoz, this has been a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoyed it. Those of you that are listening live, and if you're listening to this recorded, hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna keep doing these. So there will be more to come. Talking about gaming, talking about life, talking about whatever. It's the YokeTalk podcast, and I don't think I made an end screen.
Oh, feels bad.
We're gonna go back to the countdown, but it's not a countdown. It's an end screen.
We're ending in 5 minutes.
We're working out the kinks, guys. We're working out the kinks. First time. All right. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the YokeTalk podcast, and we will catch you next week.
Bye, everybody.